And now it's time for another edition of St. Louis 7. This one is coming off a episode with Ray Hartmann with Overtime with Oliver, wherever you get your podcast. We talked about a lot of stuff, the RFT, certain situations in St. Louis currently, you growing up in St. Louis. Before we get started, let's go ahead and plug the Starcliffe Disability Institute.
Well, it's a great organization. I'm not on the board any longer. I think they made me some kind of lifetime, whatever it was, but the Starcliffe Disability Institute is just an organization that really empowers disabled people, in particular what we call the next big step, which is giving on both sides of the equation, getting people, helping them with their employment skills, helping them hone their resumes and learn their interviewing skills. And on the other side, talking to employers. We've had a lot of great companies that have stepped up, like Purina and Express Scripts and others that helping sensitize their HR people to understand what great employees people with disabilities make. And so that's our kind of mission, is to sort of, we're not a placement agency, but we help train people in their job seeking skills, and we help employers realize the benefit of hiring the disabled.
All right, now we're off to St. Louis 7. And Ray, as you can expect, the first question is, you went to Parkway Central. What do you remember? And was it a good time?
It was a good time. It was a great time. I remember, which we were talking about in your podcast, going split sessions my sophomore year because they were building what's now considered the venerable and ancient Parkway West High School. I guess I went socially. Going for high school wasn't all that much fun. Although I was a happy kid and had a lot of friends. I was one of the smallest kids in the school. So that was a dubious distinction. And I was editor of the school paper, The Corral. It was fun.
When you go to Ted Drew's, what do you like to order?
The mocha, there's a coffee. I'm trying to think of the name. I never remember what it is, but it's sort of kind of coffee. It's either the mocha, the chocolate, or the coffee. Oh, the other thing I do get is the Charlie Brennan.
There you go.
The Charlie Brennan. So I guess most recently I've been getting the Brennan just because I have.
Trick question for somebody like you coming from the RFT, but do you have a favorite concert that you attended in St. Louis?
Oh, boy, that's a good one. A lot of them. What is it? I think Springsteen maybe was fun. I'd have to, of course, by definition, you don't remember them.
Oh,
but
kind of give me a side story on that one.
You know, Paul McCartney was fun more recently. In the day, I'm thinking Springsteen. Wasn't he here? He was here, wasn't he?
He's been there a few times.
Yeah, okay. I'd probably go with that.
Okay.
I like the concerts in the old barn. They were fun.
So what was your favorite concert in the Checker Dome?
Man, probably the same.
I think my first was Def Leppard.
Oh, well, I didn't go to that one. But I'm trying to think what I did go to that would have been good. I'm trying to remember. Were the Moody Blues here? Maybe. I think maybe I want to say they were. I don't know. I have so many. Oh, I'll tell you one that I really liked was It wasn't a concert, but Bette Midler was hilarious, and she was in the Checker Dome.
Nice.
Bette Midler was so funny.
In the early 80s, I'm not asking for a story as much as I'm saying, what was Balabans like in the early 80s?
I'm not going to, this is being recorded.
It is being recorded.
I had more fun than I probably, certainly more than the law allowed. Most people wouldn't remember the orange lights in Balabans, particularly as something one would spend a lot of time just staring at for hours on end, but let's just say I did. But I had great times at Balabans, and great time. I mean, that was probably right up there with all my hangouts. And, I certainly was, I rushed into marriage for the first time at 51. And I certainly was not a role model for America's youth. But I also was harmless and had fun, and I just had a lot of fun as a single person. But by the time I stopped being single, I was quite ready to.
Next question. You encounter 10 stop signs. How many do you roll?
Roll?
Not stop.
Well, not stop
Fully.
completely. None. Roll probably 3.
All right. Question number 6. When people come and visit you in St. Louis, where do you take them?
It's a good one. Well, it would depend on who. First of all, nobody comes and visits me anymore, David. But if they did, boy, it's a good question. I want to say the Loop, but now it might be more like either the West End or it really might be like the Grove or Cherokee Street.
Nice. So for everybody who's watching this, you can catch Ray's episode with Overtime with Oliver wherever you get your podcast, OT with Oliver. You're also on Donnybrook. You're also on KTRS weekdays, 9 to 11. Twitter. What's your Twitter?
I don't know. It's just
you got to look them up.
I don't even know. If you go to Twitter, if you go to the Twitter, am I showing my age yet? You know, I recently had the app Find My Room put on my phone. I don't know my Twitter. I just know I'm on Twitter and Facebook. I do. It's interesting. I have maybe 2,500 Twitter followers or something, but, and you know, they're like 5,000 Facebook friends. And if I get on Facebook, I get a lot of, you know, attention or response. Twitter, not so much. And it may be this a lack of skill.
The fact that you don't know your address might be a reason.
That might be part of it. I mean, and I think I technically have an account on Instagram. And it was funny. I thought I would do it. And I went over this with, I think it was Libby Higgins. We went over this on the show with no name on KTRS, our comedy show. I took my first picture. I thought it would be fun. It was at a conference I was at, and we were at Antoine's in New Orleans. And I ordered Oysters Rockefeller because that's where it began. And I took a picture of it, and it's still there. And let's just say it looks like something you might want to like clean up. And so it was, and she insisted I keep it on there. I think it's my only Instagram, but I really need to get better.
Oh, Ray, you got the 2 kids, right?
I do, and they get it. They could help me if I ask them.
It gets on the internet.
They're very savvy.
But no, here's the thing: if it gets on the internet, it never goes away.
I'm aware of that, and that's why I'm very careful. I'm very guarded with their privacy. I don't use Facebook to tell people, you know, hey, look what he's eating today. You know, I mean, I just don't. I don't. I use Facebook, and I enjoy Facebook to kind of banter with people. You know, I probably, as everybody experiences on social media, can get a little not great. I think I can proudly say that I unfriend not many people, and they're equally divided between the far right and the far left.
Good enough. Last question, man.
Yeah.
Been here a long time. What makes you proud to be a St. Louisan?
At the end of the day, I like to think that deep down inside, we're just a city with a lot of character, a lot of good. We have a lot of issues. It doesn't mean everybody in St. Louis is wonderful, but I think St. Louis I think another city like Philadelphia that's just got a lot of character. It's got a lot of, you know, there's so many different aspects of that. And I think you can have a lot of character and still have bad characters and still have problems and still have race issues or whatever. But we have character. We're not bland. We're not like every other city. We have certain kinds of historic things that are special. Just like, and again, I came back to example of Philadelphia having hoagies. You know, we have Ted Drews. We have certain things about us, and we have a certain kind of charm sometimes it manifests itself as civic insecurity, kind of a civic insecurity complex almost, but it's ours, it's us. It's, we have our high school question. We have things about us that are very defining and not bland. So I think that's it, that St. Louis has a character.
I enjoyed sitting down, getting to know you a little bit. Appreciate it.
Hey, take care. Appreciate you having me on.